I'm receiving a lot of communication in reference to the Greece thing. It seems like that a lot of people are just interested all of a sudden. You know, for someone like me who's been screaming and hollering from the rooftop for years, trying to get people to understand and see exactly what's going on, it's very obvious that people are concerned. Now, the only people that are concerned are the people who are interested in their future. Most people don't live for the future; they live for today, and they could care less what happens tomorrow because tomorrow ain't here. But a wise man always prepares for the future. So therefore, I'm going to speak to the common man to get him to understand all these, what's going on in the world, especially why Greece will have an impact on us here in the United States of America. And I want to try to do whatever I can to break this down in layman's terms so that the people can get a clear picture of what exactly truly is going on and how it will affect them. Greeks, just like us here in the United States of America, they have a government that does not know how to balance the checkbook. And they have crazy policies. They have policies, bailouts, bail-ins that they give to their constituents, their cronies, that you and we just simply do not have. They're able to leverage certain things, and let me try to bring this down a little bit more in speech here. The same thing that's going on in Greece is the same thing that is taking place here in the United States of America. It's just that many of you do not understand how these people think and how they function. You see, again, you go back and listen to my last video. This is about imposing the will of a certain people upon society. In other words, they have a world the way they want to see it ran. And anytime that world is not ran that way, then they will take it out on the people. Now, we're under the illusion, just like the people over in Greece were under the illusion, that when we so-called elect officials, people to the House of Representatives, people to the Senate, we're under the illusion that these people are going to actually represent our best interest or the will of the people. The truth is, in every country, all across this land, all across this world, these politicians, they get up there and they accept bribes from the Treasury, bribes from the IMF, bribes from the bankers, bribes from those who support their campaign. And they've got loopholes and ways. I'll give you an example. Jeb Bush, he's getting ready to run for president, and he's already raised $100 million, and he doesn't have to declare it because before he announced he was running for the presidency, he had people already giving him money. And see, a lot of us don't have money, and money talks in this world. And so when these people get up there, these politicians, and they're campaigning for your votes, it's very interesting how that you and I can get in touch with them, and they really truly don't care about us because they represent the corporations. Because after all, the corporations, quote unquote, run all the countries. What the powers that be fear is that if the Greeks have this kind of resolve to say no, in other words, we're willing to go ahead and suffer the pain right now, but at least we have our dignity. They're thinking that if they do this, that means other little small European countries are going to do the same thing. And this is their biggest fear because they want to keep afloat their system of imposed will. They want to keep their system of slavery afloat upon all the people in the world. Because the truth is, only about 1% of the people all across this world rule the whole entire world, and they're all in agreement. You need to go back and listen to my last video to get an understanding about what's really truly going on in the plantation. So, because the politicians, the prime ministers, the presidents, and everybody else, they don't know how to balance the checkbook or balance the budget. They go grovel and squabble at the IMF or another country. For instance, the Greeks owe Germany billions of dollars in euros. So therefore, Germany has an invested interest in them. The United States of America, we owe trillions of dollars to China. And out from under your nose and my nose and the news media, who's supposed to be a media for the people, is really for the corporations too, because the corporations pay the news media. Follow the money. Follow the money. We owe China, United States of America, trillions of dollars. All right? So you know what the United States of America posture is? We're not going to offend China. And if we do ever offend China, we're going to have to go to war. And since we continue to keep carrying the biggest bombs, the greatest war machine, superpower, the lone superpower in the world, we're not too much worried about China. But China has a vested interest in the United States because we are a nation of consumers. We do not produce anything. The corporations have gotten sick and tired of all the Americans belly aching about wages. So they've shut down Detroit. They have shut down many companies and reopened them in Mexico, China, many different places all across the world because they can pay another people of another nation a third of the wages or even a quarter of the wages that they pay you and I here in America with all our unions and everything, and still produce the same product and then turn around and then sell it to the working class people here in America. Because the one thing that people have a problem with in America is the lust of the flesh and the pride of life. And, we will do everything we can to fight for our luxuries rather than fighting for our freedom. We will give over our freedom for the sake of what they call security in order to feel more comfortable. And we're forgetting that the devil is in our own backyard. It's in the outhouse. I mean, the White House up there. That's exactly where they are. Because every one of these politicians who's supposed to be the elected officials, who's supposed to be representing our best interests, because through the taxpayers' contributions, if you want to call it that, through the forced taxpayer contributions that is already taken out of your check to the federal government and the state, we are thinking, because this is the system they have given us, that we have elected officials that will represent our best interests. But the truth is, and I'm going to keep on beating this drum in this video, that they represent the best interests of the corporations and not you and I. And that's the thing that the people need to wake up to. So Greece has had, in what we would call in this world right here in our society, it's amazing. They have had quantitative easing 1, quantitative easing 2, quantitative easing 3. We have had 3 of them. We probably have had 6 of them, but they use words to deceive the people, and they wouldn't really truly let us know anyway. We are, what they say, $18 trillion in debt. You know that means almost every single human being in America that's born is born into a national debt of owing $1 million a piece. That's just crazy. It's just literally crazy. It's just crazy. And all for what? Well, if we were doing so bad, and if they were really truly using the money the way that they should, and they're not, and this is the reason why the Greek people are rebelling. They're rebelling because all of this money that's allegedly supposed to be coming or came from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, bankers and stuff, rather than putting that money into the economy and giving it to the people, they gave it to the same people that did not know how to balance a checkbook in the first place. And all they did was line the pockets. So if there was a CEO, the head of a company, if he was making $20 million a year in bonuses, he's now making $60 million a year in bonuses. And of course, free market capitalism, they cheese at that. Because the truth is, there's enough resources, there is enough land for everybody in this world to live a life of dignity. But it's not going to happen under the present system that we all seem to find ourselves under right now. It just simply ain't, because you have people who believe that you and I exist to serve them. And they give us the illusion of life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness by giving us handouts. You know, a little bit here, a little bit there, and you've lost your dignity. And it's just a sad, sad thing. So what the International Monetary Fund has done is taking the money and give it into the same institutions that got us in the shape that we're in the first place. That's like, for instance, if you have a credit card and you owe $10,000 on that credit card and you only have a $10,500 limit, myself personally, I would not take any financial advice from you whatsoever at all, because you do not know how to balance a checkbook. You don't know how. You don't even know how to manage your affairs. I wouldn't do it. And also, when you don't know how to manage your affairs, it speaks to your character. To those who understand finance, to those who understand, because you know the scripture says money answers all things. That doesn't mean that you know, and don't many of you people fall off because the love of money is the root of all evil. No, it said the love of money because people covet after it. But your problem is you think the same way that the banks think. All right, I've amassed $10,000 in debt. So what I'll do is I'll go get another credit card that will give me a lower interest rate. And you know what I'll do? I'll transfer the funds over to this card right here. And when I transfer the funds over this card, I'll get rid of this 21% interest rate. And now I will accept this 14% interest rate. And so therefore, my look balance is actually falling down some. I mean, really, that's just the way that people think. The problem is that people like this, when you believe wrong, you think wrong, you act wrong. And if you've already done wrong in one place and you have not changed this right here, you're going to make the same mistakes again. So while you have received some relief in form of a monthly payment, you haven't changed the way you live. You haven't changed your mind. You have not educated yourself. You have not used self-autonomy at all. And so you end up in the same shape again. And the next thing you know, now you've used the room that you had on this card and you've maxed it out again. And then you repeat the same mistake over and over and over again, rather than doing something about yourself. And you've done nothing but got yourself in a bigger mess. And sometimes you keep the same credit card that you already had, and even though it transferred debt, and you pay it off, and then now in your mind, that's room for you to actually go out and charge up more stuff, thereby doubling your debt. And that's how people function and think in this world, because here in America, it's all about the lust of the flesh. It's all about my needs. It's all about how I feel. It's not about needs. It's about all what we want. Forget about needs. And most of us, some of us, man, I got to keep making that. I got to quit making that mistake, because some of us, we are willing to forego pleasures and comforts and conveniences to work hard now, to save for what we need, and then when we have the money, go buy it. Most people, they want satisfaction here and now. That's the same way that these countries function. Satisfaction here and now. So in the United States of America, rather than us taking the money, putting it into the people, thereby could have really strengthened the economy and lowered the taxes, they got different ideas. They taking the money and giving it to the same institutions that's got us in the mess that it is, that we're in right now. They taking the money and giving it to the airlines. They taking the money and giving it to the banks, who are literally sitting on it. And we the people, you get your out there and work your fingers to the bone and pay higher taxes. And so the politicians, every year, you get these Democrats and Republicans, they all rats. They get up there and they make you think that they are saviors. All right. And they give you a campaign speech and they get you believing in them, because words are very powerful. That's the reason why people hate preachers like me. Because I'm not a sellout and I'm not going to sell out. And there's no amount of money you can offer me to sell out. What the hell $1 trillion going to do for me? Should I get $1 trillion, $1 billion, or $1 million and trade my soul for it? Hell no. No, that's not me. that some other bootlickers, Pastor Dollar ain't playing it. I ain't playing none of them games because I know what it means to work hard. You know what I'm saying? See them big old calluses on my hands right here? I know what it means to work very hard in life, as well as work hard with this. And most of you would rather not sweat by your brow, and you would rather take the comfort and ease and let somebody else do it for you. And that's the reason why you have no respect for someone who is really truly leading the way and showing the way, because you're not about to get out here and bust your to the zenith in order to obtain, in order to have. Because if you follow my philosophy, my economic advice, then what you have is yours. It belongs to you. So the powers that be, every time they talk about bailouts, like we did in the United States of America, they gave it to the same institutions that have lined their pockets. Our government has fudged the numbers and cooked the books. So therefore, in unfunded liabilities, because we are a sick nation, we owe now in excess to over $200 trillion in debt, which cannot be paid off. We're going to war. Because all these people that have loaned us money, so-called money, they're going to call us on it. They're going to want their money. It's just like you. If you loan somebody $1,000, I've loaned people money lately, and they said that I just gave it to them. And when I loan people money, I loan it to them without interest, because I'm thinking that these are my brothers. Come to find out, man, these people ain't my brothers. Wow. And so they think that they can act like the companies or the countries that turn around and get money, they don't have to pay it back. It's just utterly amazing, a mindset. And believe me, I learn stupid tax, painful lessons on a daily basis. I promise you I do. Yes, I do too. And then they come up with all kind of ideas and everything. So therefore, it's made me gun shy to loan anybody money, including those who are of my people. Because, I mean, it's a trust issue. And nobody in America trusts their government. And nobody in Greece trusts their government. And the powers that be are getting scared because the will of the Greek people has been imposed upon the IMF and the bankers. And they know it. So the bankers are fighting back real hard. They have stopped the trucks. They have closed the banks. And look what they do. They're starving you to death. It's nothing but an old-fashioned Roman siege. When you want something from somebody, you surround the areas, especially if you have a bigger army. And see, the bankers, they're not going to get out and fight this war because they grow hair on the bottom of their hands. And so they pay the police force. And these police officers, everything, they stupid. They don't know what's going on. They don't know why the people are upset. Why? Because for a song and a dance, they got a job. They aren't concerned. Only thing they say, mindless minions. Well, the law says. The people are the ones that should judge the law. These people pass laws all the time that is against us without us even knowing. They do backroom deals and sweep stuff under the rug, and we have no idea until it comes out. And then we holler and scream for a little while because that's the means of our protest, and then we go away quietly and nothing has changed. Well, we're in the days of Spartacus. We're in the days of Braveheart. We're in the days of the Seminole Indian and the blacks that went and became part of the Seminole Indians. We're in a part to where the system now is calling us rebels. The system is calling us renegades because we don't want to play their game no more. And as it goes in Europe, so is it going here in America, and you people need to seriously wake the hell up. Because America, you pay attention, because whatever's happened over there across that pond in Europe is coming to your backyard. And I can continue to keep going on all day long, painting pictures, but let me finish this on this. The international bankers has loaned countries money. The countries have not allocated those funds in the place where it should be, which is in the people's hands. So they put it in the same institutions that got us in the condition that we're in now. And things are not better. And their solution is give you more money to make you that much more of a slave to us, because we don't have the stomach nor the will to balance the budget. And what's going to happen, the bankers are going to start calling their money. And they're going to bring in the international armies. And they're going to get their money. If they're not, they're going to take your land. They're going to take your wife. They're going to take your children and your children's children. They're going to take it all. And you're going to be left in a swamp like the Seminole Indians. That's what you're going to be left in. I'm telling you. So you better get the will somehow, some way. I don't know how to do it because they're using racism to divide the people. They're using political parties that you don't even understand, and you call yourself joining, you're going to make things better, and it's nothing but game as usual. I mean, I'm serious. And you can't reach a people like this because the powers that be have figured out if I put fluoride in the water, mercury in the vaccines that cause a bunch of autism, and if I get a nation that all they're interested in is entertainment and self-satisfaction, mind-numbing drooling, then we can continue to have the world that we want. And these workers can continue to make our pockets and our bank accounts fat. So we have to continue to keep pressing this lie forward. And mind you, they're guilty because they have benefited from the wickedness of their fathers. And these people have been trained by their fathers to perpetuate this system and keep it going. And some of you are just now starting to get it, and some of you will never get it. Some of you will willfully go to the plantation and be happy picking cotton for somebody else and get nothing for it. I think it's a sad, sad situation. I don't get on here and holler and scream about what's going on without providing solutions, because I know the solutions that I have, many of you will not do, but I'm going to make another attempt at it again like I have been doing for so many years. Number one, get out of debt, because the borrower is a servant to the lender, and if you're in debt, believe you me, they're going to come and take whatever you got. Have you noticed in America that if, the whole ideal is you live life, you get into your 60s, you get sick, you go into the hospital, all right, and you mask all these medical bills that you can't pay because, when you paying 50 to 75 cents for a staple, and then you paying $200 to $300 a day for so-called health care. See, that's part of them unfunded liabilities that's got us $200 trillion in debt in this country right here. They know you're not going to be able to pay it off. So what do? They go after your assets because the information that the rich have, we don't have it. So therefore, that's why you need to learn how to put things in a trust to keep your name off of it, to where you control the interests of everything, but you don't own anything. That's how the rich get by. So when they get sued, you get the cat that's in the trust. But you don't get the property, because that property is in the name who the United States government said is a living, breathing soul. And I know I've already lost many of you people, and you people go to college only to get stupider, only to get more dumbed down. I mean, they're really. And I'm a pastor and know all this, and I cry loud, I spare not, I lift my voice like a trumpet, and I show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sin, and they still are stuck in them cities. I don't understand it for the life of me. But anyway, hey, you get out of debt, you move out of the city, and if you're in the city and you can't move, you find you a piece of ground, a parcel of land, to be able to build a small little cottage on, and a place that you can store food and cash you some hardware. You find some other people that are in the like mind as you, and be careful of these people, because a new broom always sweep well, and everybody ain't your friend who say that you're a friend. Everybody don't have the same interest, because people simply will not change their mind. And so you've got a lot to learn. It's a strong learning curve to learn people. I'm very discerning when it comes to people. And even at that, at times, I miss it, because I want to believe in the benevolence and the better good of man, only come to find out that people are still full of the things that we eliminate from our bodies. And they continue to keep putting forth the finger, and they won't get any better. but you do good and do well to take my advice. And if you can't take my advice and you find it hard to believe what I am saying, stick around. You ain't got no choice anyway. You just stick around and see as this thing continues to keep unfolding how bad you're going to be and how bad off you're going to be. Because whether you like it or not, all fiat systems, all of them have a certain time that they run, and then throughout a 5,000 year history, 6,000 year history, throughout over and over again, all of them always go back to tangible assets. That's why I talk about silver, gold. You can't expect these people. How the hell do you get the stock market that was barely teetering on it was at 7, 8, 9, 10, 1,000, the Dow was. And then we amassed double the amount of debt and expand the national debt to $18 trillion. And now the stock market is at 18, 17, 18. How in the world do you do that when you've changed nothing about your economic policies? How do you do that? I hope that some way, somehow, that I've said something to stimulate your thought. And that's a stimulus package for you right there. Now, those of us who believe in morality and morale, while we may differ on point of views concerning religion, the truth is we agree on morality. And we're watching our country literally be spiritual bankrupt. We're watching it morally decay. We're watching a people that are comfortable being dumb, dormant, docile, and demoralized. That's what we're watching in this time we're living in right now. And people are comfortable with whatever the rich give to them, and they love groveling at their tables. You need to learn how to grow your own food and become independent. See, it used to be the supermarket or the storehouse used to be what you were growing, you were canned. Now they got you in every aspect of your life depending on the system. You need to go back and listen to my last video. I'm telling you, before this one. I am trying to do all that I can, a voice crying in the wilderness, to wake up as many people as I can. I'm going to tell you right now, you listen to me, you will get offended, highly offended, because you think that you're the sum of all wisdom. You think that you've got it all figured out, and you haven't lived anything to figure out nothing. And at first, I'm going to sound very strange to you, but you know when I will no longer sound strange to you? I will no longer sound strange to you when you make for your own self. For your own self, you start going and doing your own independent research and your own study, because you know what? You ain't going to get clear on anything in this life until you believe it yourself, because nothing in this world can be truthful. Nothing in this world can be the absolute truth until you get it. Until then, everything is a lie. But you have been trained, you have been coerced, you have been manipulated, and you have been conditioned to believe lies, love lies, and live lies. That's what I'm really. And you think about all the fairy tales that we have embraced in this country. And how can we as a people, anyone as a people, even function in truth, function in honesty, function in righteousness when we have believed nothing but lies and fairy tales all of our life? How can you come to the knowledge of the truth, much less perform it? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make or set you free. And that's the truth, and that's the truth straightway. Wake the hell up.